So, can you tell my listeners a little bit about your story?
Yeah, so my name's Aaron Golub. I was born legally blind. I ended up becoming the first legally blind Division One athlete to play in a game when I played football at Tulane University. Was named a team captain and went on to become an NFL free agent. And now I run two businesses. The first one is myself doing speaking workshops and consulting on different topics like leadership and others with companies, events, teams around the world. And the other one is my team and I have a business where we help people who are speakers or want to grow as a speaker, grow and scale their company, their business, to consistently get booked and paid to speak.
Thank you for the introduction. Now, what led to you playing football?
Yeah, just I was always a big sports fan growing up, and trying to find the right fit for me was really important. And I tried every sport out there. None of them really were that right fit. Eventually, I found football, and it was about finding the right position within there. But I fell in love with it day one, and was able to grow within that sport.
Now, do you have a particular team that you always try to root for, or is it more the game itself?
I mean, growing up from Boston, I was a Patriots fan, but at the same time, it was the game itself where I wanted to play in college and ended up playing at Tulane, which was awesome.
Now, I have an interesting story about that. So, for the New England Patriots, I was able to be on the field for the SBLI ceremony, and I was able to see Gronk and Tom Brady together, which was an amazing experience.
Awesome, very cool.
Now, how did you achieve success over the years, and what do you advise others to do?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me in achieving success is really about trying and failing. You're too many people are kind of afraid to fail. They're
Mhm.
perfectionists. They grow up thinking that if you don't get an A, then you're screwed. If you get an F on a paper, you're screwed. That's not true. If you fail, it can lead to success if you keep trying. I'm in the process right now of one of my businesses making a handful of changes, and it's a frustrating process, but it's going to lead to a lot of success in 3, 6 months from now. And so it's seeing that long time horizon.
Now, with those changes in mind, and what my next question is going to be, which is, what are your future goals? What do you have in mind for that business and the other business that you mentioned?
Yeah, so me with my speaking consulting, it's just continue to work with companies, teams, events, all over when it's a right fit for me to come in and work with them. For the business where we're growing and scaling other people's speaking businesses, I mean
Mhm.
that it's continue to grow and become a top player in that space of the number one people. Where if you are a speaker and you want to scale further, that you come to us and running a very successful business doing that.
Now, for so many people that have anxiety when it comes to public speaking, how do you build that confidence to be able to do so?
Yeah, so when it comes to the anxiety side of it, I think it's really just understanding your own belief systems. It's that,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, everyone out there wants you to win. No one else out there wants you to fail. And at the end of the day, if someone wants you to, it doesn't matter what they think. You need to have trust in your own opinions and realize that your opinions are the only ones that matter. But everyone out there is rooting for you to succeed. They don't want you to come on stage and flop.
Right. Now, with you saying people wanted to root for you, who were your role models when you were growing up?
I don't really think of it like role models necessarily. I think that there were people, whether it be coaches or parents or, friends or whoever along the way that helped me to get there. And I think that there's different people within my life in different stages that were mentors to me that allowed me to succeed because I was able to learn from them, and be mentored by them.
Now, when it comes to being mentored and having the setbacks, how do you handle those when those come about?
In what, if you wouldn't mind just explaining that further, in
Yes.
the
So
setbacks that you face.
in the ones that you face, such as either your business or for sports, for example, in that capacity,
And so how you work with a mentor through that.
how do you go about it to begin to build yourself back up once you have a setback?
Yeah, that comes back to resiliency and understanding
Mhm.
that, just because you fall down doesn't mean you can't get back up and you can't keep going, you can't keep pushing. I think that's really important. Most people get hit in the face once and they go down and, they never keep trying. But it's about understanding that, like, you're going to fall down, you're going to
Mhm.
mess up, you're going to fail. And if you keep going, you'll eventually get to the end result.
Now, for you, outside of sports, what are your hobbies?
Yeah, it's cliche to say, but like business. I mean, all I do honestly is like business, hang out with my, girlfriend, go out to eat and go to the gym. Business is my hobby. It's growing and
Mhm.
scaling companies is fun for me. I truly believe that.
Now, with that being something that you enjoy day in and day out, what would you say the most magical part of that would be for you? Would it be connecting with people? Would it be the financial security aspect of it? What would it be for you?
Look, everyone wants to make more money, and that's awesome. I do,
Mhm.
you do, everyone does. But at the end of the day, it's money doesn't mean anything to me. It's a game. It's the
Mhm.
same way football was. It's how do I pull certain levers to get to the next level? If I want to grow $1 million business, what levers do I have to pull to get there? If I want to grow a $10 million business, what levers do I have to pull to get there? If I want to grow a $50 million business, what levers do I have to pull, and what person do I have to become to get there? And so I look at it as a game of figuring out and understanding what levers I have to pull
Mhm.
to transform the business and to transform myself to get to the next level of where I want to go.
Now, for that being said, what are your core values that you hold true just with any business that you establish?
Yeah, I always say it's about, enjoyment for me. The second I don't enjoy doing a business, I'm no
Mhm.
longer going to do it. And, that's the number one thing because you can make money a million different ways. But, if I don't enjoy a business, I'll
Mhm.
I'll stop it or I'll leave it or I'll pass it on to someone else, whatever that looks like. But it's about enjoying what I'm doing and who I'm working with.
Now, the last question that I have for you is when it comes to being an entrepreneur, what advice would you give to the people nowadays with the change of chat GPT and AI and everything technology wise?
Yeah, when it comes to things like that, I think there's a few different angles to it, but the one that I look as like all of that can help your business if you use it in the right way. I think a lot of people get super obsessed with it and say, "Oh, I'm going to learn all of this,"
Mhm.
and not focus on the core business, on the core aspect of making money, growing your revenue, all of that. But instead, it's focusing on what AI tools can you use to help increase efficiency, increase the capacity that you have within your business and deliver better results. Then you're using it the right way. I think
Mhm.
too many people are in the stage of like AI is the best thing ever, which don't get me wrong, I think AI is great and it's here to stay, but it's about using it in the right way.
Now, with using it in the right way and with the platforms that you use, what are the top platforms that you recommend businesses use or should consider
For AI,
for AI and for their business outside of AI technology?
I mean, just yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you're doing. Like when it comes to AI, like I use ChatGPT for things, whether it's
Mhm.
helping me come up with content ideas. I use tools that help schedule my posts. I, pre write all of them and have
Mhm.
them scheduled through that because I don't want to be doing it myself manually every single day.
Mhm.
There's tons of different things like that. For me, I'm a big believer in like cold outreach, and I use tons of tools for like cold email for getting people's contact info and sending out mass outreach that seem very personalized because that's how I get in front of a lot of eyeballs. There's lots of
Mhm.
other ways to doing that, but I'm a strong believer in doing that. I think is a really underrated aspect for landing clients and growing a business.
Now, when it comes to cold emails, do you have anything particular when it comes to techniques that you use, or do you kind of go about it from a unique angle?
Well, it's about personalizing it at scale so that you can
Mhm.
get in front of the right people. But I'm never going to sit there and email someone one by one. I'm going to set up a campaign that's going to email 10,000 people in the next 30 days or something. Um, but it's about finding the right target market and writing the email copy that's compelling. Most people go it the wrong way where they're going to write
Mhm.
a 4 paragraph email and no one's going to read that. Like if you send me a four
Mhm.
paragraph email, I'm deleting the email in 2 seconds. I'm not reading it. If you send me a 50-word email, 70-word email at most, I'm going to read it.
Mhm.
And so that's one of the biggest mistakes most people make when it comes to cold email is they just it's so long instead of like getting right to the point of what you're doing, giving someone a compliment, telling them what you do, and having a call to action.
Right. Kind of like an elevated pitch per se, but for emailing.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, for those that want to go into public speaking, be able to speak at any event, any venue, and have it be where they're not shaking and nervous, what is some ways that they can get in contact with you to help them build themselves?
Yeah. Look, you can go to our company website is initiateconnections.com, or you can, kind of just look me up on social media and send me a DM and a message, and see if what we do is the right fit for you.
Mhm.
Some people it is, some people's not. It depends on the stage you are, in your career.
Now, what is your social media handles for those that want to go about it that way?
Yeah, it's at Aaron J. Golub.
Thank you again for allowing me to interview you again, Aaron.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.